What is up, rad potential YouTube followers? We are in the rad shop doing rad stuff to some rad cars as usual. So, apologize for being a little bit not productive the last few bits. It has been hot and I really don't know why, but we just haven't been as productive as we normally are. Hopefully this doesn't fall over. So, if you are seeing right here, this is a car you've never seen before, but for good reason. So, what I like to do every now and again, especially when people find me that I don't have to offer services to, we'll say, is help a fellow RX7 enthusiast out with fixing their car. Oh, what the heck, where's the hood prop at? So, what we have here is a bone stock 1984 Mazda RX-7 GS. Now, if you're wondering why the plug wires are off, it's because I compression tested this car. So, this engine bay is filthy. It was a Philadelphia car originally. So, Philadelphia, what they offer up there, at least back in the 80s, what they offered was this like undercoat stuff you could get done to your car. Basically, it's like a spray that you put on. You can see it like all up in here. It's not really dirt, that's just this like undercoat stuff that's like peeling off. Same like why that's yellowed. So it was like a rust prevention program for cars in the north. So this car has that on it. It's been undercoated and everything. Well, anyways, whose car is this? This is just a local guy's car. Engine probably needs rebuilt, needs some fixing up. 84. He's owned it since, I don't know, a while. And last time it was registered was like 2013, so it's been off the road for a while. Probably gonna need fuel system overhaul. I'll have Charles rebuild the carburetor and we'll get this baby back up and running again. So, the docket for today is we are going to get this engine yanked out of here, and I'm going to show you in this video, and I may make, no, in this video, how the stock Nicky carburetor comes off on one of these late model cars. I know that, or late model first gens we'll say, because it's a late model, it's got full emissions and all that garbage. And it still irks me that there's no hood prop. Where the heck is this hood prop at? So, regardless, I've got my little GoPro, and I know I've struggled with making this work in the past, but I have more batteries now. I'm going to put this on my head and show y'all how all this comes apart. So, there will be a good little time lapse of that happening. I thought I had a hood prop laying around here, because I normally keep a lot of dumb stuff. Would you just look at that? We got us a hood prop, so let's put that up real quick so the hood stays up. Alright guys, so it's going to look like we haven't got much done, but I'll tell you what we do have done. So, air cleaner's off, all the assorted vacuum lines are disconnected. I'm going to pull this engine out with the carburetor attached. Okay, so that way when the carburetor comes out, all this stuff comes off, we can see exactly where it goes. So what did we do? Exactly. This is your emissions harness. Okay, so the late model cars have this whole emissions deal. One thing that's very different to note this, from an early model to a late model, your oil pressure gauge, temperature gauge, oil level sensor, and the, I think that's part of the oil level sensor. There's another wire that goes down to the bottom. That harness is all part of this harness, not the chassis harness. Typically on a 79 or an 80, even in, I think up to 83, those wires for your gauges, these are your gauge sensors, come from the passenger side of the car with this emissions harness. Fun fact, so don't try to pull them all off and dip them over there. They do have to come this way. Just so you know. Most of them are the other side. So we've disconnected all the emission stuff, snaked this harness out of here. This is good because we're going to be able to leave all the vacuum lines and stuff on this motor, so until I get it off the car to actually deal with labeling and getting them set aside perfectly without having to dick with it like it's like this. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling get the carb in the air, pull the exhaust off, drain the oil, and just start pulling all the other things. So Beehive oil cooler, there are no oil lines going to the front of the car. Notice that thing. They're ugly, terrible, but they work decently good enough.
Who do you think you are?
So I'm gonna go ahead and play with that.
Simon Dewey.
Alright YouTube, so we're to the point now. Wasn't quite taking me a terribly long time. However, I was just tired of this camera on my head banging and stuff. So, and I also made the decision to not take the carburetor off while it's in the car. I feel like I'm just going to do it. Once I get the engine out on the stand, it'll be way easier. And I can see where everything's going. So, we're to the point here. We got the rad out. Working to get the fan off right now. I got the bolts out of it, but it's stuck. It's hub centric, so they get stuck often. So I'm gonna have to get a hammer in there on that. No big deal. And everything else is disconnected, or should be. So basically, what we're looking at for all the stuff you have to disconnect, which I already see that I missed one. So you've got on this engine the wiring harness as I just showed you. You have the throttle cables, your auto choke cable, and your AC idle up cable, which go over here. They connect one here and one down there, so you have to take those off. The other thing that is super hard to get to, so I dumped coolant everywhere lifting the radiator out, is the regular old throttle cable. So that one's right here, and this one connects way down in this hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start lifting the motor out and get it disconnected from the transmission, and then I'm going to pop, once I have more room to get both my hands in there, I'm going to get that off. So that is kind of moving forward. It would definitely be way easier to put it on with it in the car. Not a big deal to get it on, but I'm going to take it off once I get out. So we're going to lift this up. I'll show it to you once I get it on the stand. Alright guys, so we have the engine out on the stand, etc. I got most of the front accessory stuff stripped off, and we've just removed the solenoid rack. So this is a rack of solenoids for vacuum issues. There's 6 of them. It sits right in here, facing this way. All these little vacuum holes go to all these little vacuum holes. So luckily they try to put them in order. Each one of them is color coded. This one's very dirty, so you can't really see. We got a green one, white one, etc. There's a blue one in here. So they do go in order. You should be able to find in the factory service manual or on Google a diagram showing which one goes to what. Down here it's fairly self-explanatory. Follow the leader where they go. So you remove that. Now we're going to take the rest of the rat's nest apart here and pop this carburetor off. So here we go. Oh, damn. Y'all, it's the end of a night, a long night. Tore it down. So, the carnage. What's broke? Well, the housings. Right there, all that chrome's flaked off. This one's got the same stuff going on all right through here. Right there. It's a really sad day because 12A housings are getting real hard to find, yo. So, other news, the stationary gear bearings, both the front one and the back one, showing a little bit of copper, so we'll have to get new bearings pressed in. Rotor bearings look A-okay, and the E-shaft looks A-okay. So, in reality, the carnage, need to find 2 more 12A housings. I don't think that I really have any good ones because the other ones are junk, and I may have one good one up there, or at least I might have better ones, because better and good is not entirely the best, but we can just use a better housing, so it may have a better one. And yeah, the irons are fine, intake's fine, carburetor looks good, everything else came apart awesome. The rotors look fantastic, they're in super good shape. Even like the apex seals, everything's looking healthy, just besides them housings. So have to up the premix on this bad girl and let it eat. So with that, thanks for tuning in on the rotary engine teardown for the 1984 RX7 GS whatever thingy. Yeah, and I'm going to bed because it's late. So thanks for watching, keep it rad. We'll get this baby put back together, we'll get some more parts for it. Off to the next one. Peace.